Hey guys, welcome back, it's Matt here, and as you've just noticed, we just run into a Dark Wanderer just outside town. This experience scared me the first time I experienced it. So for those who don't know, I've played up to Act 3 on D2R on a Summon Necromancer before I did this, so I've gotten a little bit further than this. And when I first encountered the Dark Wanderer outside town, I thought I was about to get in a boss fight or something, so I got really scared, but it turns out he just disappears and spawns some monsters, so it wasn't the end of the world. Next up, I explored the Spider Forest a bit, which is the first zone that you enter after entering Act 3. So I explored a bit, I found this figurine, took it to Mephisto. He gave me a golden statue for it. I took the golden statue to Alcor, and Alcor gives me a potion that adds 20 points to my life permanently, which is nice. More life is always a good thing. While you watch me explore the Arachnid lair, I thought I would update you a bit on my general experience with Diablo 2 so far. I kind of thought going into this that I would miss some of the things from D2R, because D2R has added some modern conveniences, and of course it has the updated graphics. And playing that first, I thought going back to the old version, I might, play for a little bit, but then just sort of go back to D2R because it feels a bit better. But actually, having played this for a little bit, I've gotten so used to it, and it's aged really well. This game doesn't feel as old as it is. Now mind you, I like old games. Probably my favourite game of all time, I believe I mentioned this in a previous video, is Arcanum of Steamworks and Magic Obscura, which is by a lot of the same people that made the original Fallout 1 and 2 games, and it looks very similar to those, it looks very similar to Diablo 2. So I'm used to old games, I enjoy my old games. But Diablo 2 doesn't feel that clunky or old. Once your eyes adjust to the low resolution, it feels quite like any other ARPG. Now I know it doesn't have some modern things that other ARPGs have. It doesn't have a fleshed out endgame. In Diablo 2 the endgame is sort of just grinding out for better items and getting level 99 and so on. It's not like doing maps and stuff like in Path of Exile. Now I know there are mods like Project Diablo 2 that add that sort of endgame, and I might try those out after, but I sort of feel like Diablo 2 does something better than other ARPGs, which is that the actual experience of going through the campaign is really good. You enjoy every moment of it. You don't feel like you're just trying to get through this mindless slog to get to the end game where the real fun starts. You feel like you're enjoying the game from level 1 when you first step out into the first zone. I recently watched Mad Season's video about why he has been enjoying old school RuneScape so much as a former WoW player. And one of the things he talked about is how OSRS gets the leveling experience right. It makes the experience of actually leveling your character enjoyable. Whereas a lot of other MMOs, leveling is just the annoying part that you have to get through to get to the end. But leveling is the experience that all players have, he mentioned. So every player has to go through the leveling part, so the leveling part of the game should be good, it should be fun. And I think Diablo 2 does this well. After doing the Arachnid lair, I went back and did a few Andariel runs just for a bit of fun. I didn't get anything particularly interesting, but it was a bit of fun just going back and feeling how much stronger I was. Next up I went to the Spider Lair, which is where you find Khalim's eye. Basically you need to get this guy's eye, heart, brain and flail to make something that can destroy this orb that you're trying to get rid of. So now we have the eye checked off. Right, so I was going through the jungle trying to find the Flayer jungle or whatever it's called, the place where the Flayer temple is, which is basically I need to find Khalim's brain in the Flayer dungeon. That's the next bit for the quest. But anyway, I was looking on the ground and I noticed a unique spiked shield. I picked it up and identified it, and it's this thing. It's got more block than my other shield. It doesn't have all resistances 8%, which is kind of annoying. It doesn't have the hit recovery. But then it has this 50% chance of open wounds. Problem is I don't know what open wounds does. I assume it's like a bleed effect or something, but I don't know how that's going to work, and I don't know if it works on all characters. I assume it does because it doesn't mention a class. It's got really good defense. This one only has 22 defense, it's got 50. It's got 60% block instead of 55, and it says attacker takes damage of 10. I feel like that's quite a bit. That's some pretty decent thorns right there. So I'm going to put this on and I'm going to try it out. Right, so I kind of have no money now. Well, I have 60k left, but I had 350k or something, and I've got 60k left. And that's because I went to this guy's shop, Ormus, and he sells weapons, and I was looking through the scepters, trying to find something. Oh, this one's good as well, 3 to Holy Freeze. But this one is 3 to Holy Freeze and 1 to Zeal. The lightning on attack I don't think is like meaningful or whatever, but this looks good. The only problem is I just realised it doesn't have any sockets. For some reason I thought it had sockets, so I can't put the 2 to mana after each kill. So I have to hope that I'm not going to be like mana starved with this, but let's try it out and see how it is. So next up I went to the Flayer dungeon to get the brain. While I explore that, I just wanted to touch on a little something that I was thinking about while I was playing, which is, it's kind of weird, but Diablo and Diablo 2 kind of spawned both the best and the worst games that we have today, because Diablo's drops, where you get an item that's like randomized from a monster, sort of started a lot of the mechanics that we have in newer games, where, you know, yeah, you get something random, something exciting, a bit of a little dopamine fix from the game. But I also feel like it probably spawned the likes of loot boxes and stuff, because it's the same sort of mechanic. It's like, hey, we can make players sort of gamble for something, except now we can take their real money for it instead of just giving it as a drop. In Diablo, it's like gambling, but it's free. You're not actually putting any money in. You're just rolling the in-game dice and getting some kind of reward every time. But loot boxes have taken that concept and gone, oh, yeah, actually, we could charge you money for that. You still get the same dopamine hit, but you lose your money and probably don't get anything good. It's just weird thinking about how this one mechanic from this series of games has spawned so many other related mechanics over the years. Some of them very good and some of them very, very harmful. But anyway, ramble aside, I managed to find the brain. I also managed to hit level 24. And now we're going to cut to Matt from the past, recording a little clip. Okay, so I want to do a few things here. I want to say a few things anyway. So first of all, I've been using this shield for a little bit and I think it's working quite well. It seems to be working quite well. I can't tell for certain if it's better or worse than the last one. I think like I'm taking a bit more damage, but I'm doing a bit more damage. So I think overall it's an upgrade. But also, look how it looks on my character. It just looks really cool. So I think I want to keep it for looks alone until I get something that's like a significant upgrade from it. Secondly, speaking of looks, how do you guys feel about the map? If it really annoys you guys, I will try and use it a little bit less, but like I have it open all the time and I've noticed that my eyes have just adjusted to it. It's got to the point where when I have this open, if I want to like see my character in the ground beneath it, I can just look at that and I don't even see the map. Like my brain just tunes it out completely. And then when I want to look at the map, I can see the map. So it's like I don't have to toggle it on and off because my brain just does it automatically for me. And I feel like for regular Diablo 2 players, it's probably the same. I did at one point try to go into the options to see if you could change the opacity just to make it less annoying for other people. But yeah, I wonder how that is for people who haven't played, because I think it was annoying for me when I first started playing. I think I found it distracting and like visually cluttered. But now I just keep it open all the time and I don't even notice it's open. I didn't even realise until like the middle of this act that like, hey, actually people might be annoyed by that being on the screen all the time because I just keep it open. So if it is annoying, tell me, but if not, then great. Speaking of visuals again, this is going to be the hottest take of the century, but like when I'm playing this for long periods of time, this looks as good as D2R to me. Yeah, I did say the hottest take of the century because D2R looks amazing, and this is, you know, dated graphically, but when I'm playing this for long periods of time, it's like my brain just reverts to that era of like when games looked like this. And I don't even notice that it doesn't look modern. I just like, I don't know, I get into the graphics and I like how it looks. So I think both games look stunning in their own way. It's just you have to kind of adjust your like inner expectation of the era of games that this is from. But when I do that, it's like, this looks just as good as D2R to me. Yeah, like I said, crazy take, but I just wanted to put that out there. Anyway. Next up I went to Kurast. First we went to Lower Kurast and I explored there because I know that on Lower Kurast there are chests that you can loot that can sometimes have interesting loot. I watched some video on YouTube where someone was doing a challenge where they were like trying to get some rare runes from those chests. Now I think you can only get said rare runes in higher difficulties, so I doubt I can get anything fun in normal, but I thought I would go through and have a look. I only found like, I don't know, 3 or 4 chests though, so I don't know if I was just not looking properly or if it's a random thing depending on how the map spawns or something. We went further into Kurast and we found the ruined temple where we find a tome that we need to take to Alcor. Then I decided to ask your opinion on something. Okay, I've got another quick question for you guys. Does the stretched view bother you guys? I don't know if you guys know this, but this is actually an 800 by 600 window. Technically I've got it scaled to 200%, so it looks a bit better on my 1440p monitor. But it's a 4:3 aspect ratio, and I've just got OBS stretching it so that it's a 16:9 aspect ratio. And the reason that I've got that is literally just because I don't want to have to change the aspect ratio in OBS every time I switch between making a Diablo 2 video and a video for my Lucid Dreaming channel where I do 16:9 videos. So I wanted to just keep it on 16:9 and just stretch the view. But I wonder if that kind of annoys you guys, because it does look, you know, a bit stretched and strange. But like, to me it looks fine. To me it looks fine like that. The reason that I don't just use a 16:9 window, so I can't remember if it's Pluggy or if it's this D2DX thing that I have, which is just like a graphics improver. It just like makes it so you can play in higher resolutions and stuff. I don't know if it's that or Pluggy, but one of them is the thing that lets me do widescreen. And when you do widescreen, because this game didn't originally have widescreen, it just had 4:3 aspect ratios, you get these like bars. You get these like, basically these go all the way to the side of your screen, like over here. And there's these massive bars in between that are just empty. And I just don't like how it looks. It just annoys me. It feels like everything is too far away from everything else. And I prefer just playing in 4:3. So I just put it in 4:3 and then had OBS stretch it. But let me know what you guys think. Does it look kind of terrible because of the stretched thing? I've seen other people do it in old Diablo 2 videos as well, and I didn't mind it, so that's why I did that. But if you think it's annoying, I will suffer the annoying bars and I'll put it in the widescreen mode for you guys. Next up, we went to the sewers in Karast, and after exploring the sewers, we managed to find Khalim's heart. So that just leaves the flail for us to find. Not too long after this, I reached level 25, and then I entered Travincal. I think it's Travincal, or maybe it's Travinsul. But I had to fight off the council members here, and after fighting them I was rewarded with Khalim's flail, and also a dupe of my Heraldric cube. I believe that's a bug with Pluggy. You're not supposed to be able to get more than one Heraldric cube. It doesn't matter, you can't like use it for anything extra, except for like extra storage, I guess. But I think it's a bug with Pluggy from what I read online, so I ended up dropping this duped cube later, so I didn't just cheat and use it as like extra inventory space or whatever. At this point I remembered that I still had a quest to find the Gid bin in the Flayer jungle, so I'd forgotten about that, so I went ahead and I did that. Now finally it was time. I combined all of Khalim's artifacts in the cube, making a flail that can destroy the orb. Destroying this orb will allow us to enter Mephisto's lair. So I destroyed the orb, I entered the lair, and now it was time for my next boss, Mephisto, which I did manage to predict correctly. I did predict that Mephisto would probably be the end boss of Act 3. And at this point I realised, wait, I'm actually further than I am on my Summon Necromancer in D2R, because I still haven't played that character since I started playing D2 LOD. And that character is like part of the way through Act 3. He hasn't found Khalim's flail yet, so he hasn't gone to Travincal and killed the council members. So he's actually a step behind my Paladin now. My Paladin is now finishing Act 3. Now Mephisto was a really hard battle. I had a real challenge with this guy, and I was having to quaff a lot of potions. I even thought that maybe I wouldn't manage it. But I managed to scrape through just about, and at this point I entered the portal to hell, ending Act 3, sending us to Act 4, my first experience with Act 4 ever. Everything from this point on is completely new to me. I haven't experienced it before in Diablo 2, so this is going to be exciting. I hope you'll enjoy coming along for the ride with me. On that note, I think this is a good place to put a stop to the episode, so I'll catch you again in the next one. Take care.